When speed and time are critical, smart travelers rely on the super thrust of the Concorde SST. And when speed and time are important to operators in the sandblast industry, they can now rely on the super thrust of the square shooter. The square shooter blast nozzle, introduced and patented by MMLJ, is a remarkable breakthrough in blast nozzle technology that can make money for your business. The square shooter nozzle is different, but not difficult. In fact, it is easy to operate with minimal operator training. It was designed to reduce labor costs and abrasive costs. Peak performance can be obtained in applications of blasting steel plates, large pipe, and structural steel members. So, how does this innovative design work? Well, it's really quite simple. The nozzle gets its superthrust capability from the square entry through the square outlet. It is designed with side ridges to ensure proper nozzle orientation and a unique square inlet. The square shooter uses universal 1 1/4 straight threads with an available 50mm adapter. One of the main features of the square shooter nozzle is that it requires only a 10 to 20% overlap, as compared to a long Venturi nozzle, which requires a 50% overlap. This saves abrasive. On the average, it is 72% faster than conventional high-long Venturi nozzles and saves 30% in abrasive consumption. As an example, when a blasting project requires 250 blasting hours using a conventional nozzle, the square shooter will require only 145 hours for the same job. The cost savings could amount to $7,000 for this one job alone, and that's a considerable savings. Here you can see the difference in blast patterns from the square shooter and conventional nozzles. The blast pattern from the square shooter is much larger. Now let's look at some examples of using the square shooter and a conventional nozzle. The square shooter is on the right side of the screen, and the conventional nozzle on the left. Notice that when blasting this steel plate, the blast time is considerably faster with the square shooter nozzle. Here is the same procedure using the square shooter to blast angle iron. Again, the blast time is much faster. Even though the square shooter is easy to operate, it does require operator experience. In order to obtain the full benefits of the unique design, the operator has to adapt to the new operating technique. To obtain full benefit of the square shooter performance, our technicians recommend that the operator be thoroughly instructed on how to use the nozzle properly. Learning to operate the square shooter is as easy as reading the instructions. For quicker results in productivity, the operator should use only the square shooter for a minimum of 2 to 3 weeks, so he will learn how to properly operate the nozzle. The user should remember the 3 basic essentials that make the square shooter work. When operating the super thrust nozzle, the operator should 1. Increase flow. When operating the square shooter, open the abrasive valve to increase the abrasive flow. This is necessary in order to fill the larger square shooter blast pattern. 2. Step back. Hold the nozzle slightly further back than when using a conventional Venturi nozzle to get full benefit from the larger pattern when a commercial blast is specified. This will take a little practice because the operator will be looking for a smaller blast pattern. And 3. Slow down. It is more efficient to operate the square shooter slower than conventional nozzles because the blasting rate will be more than offset by the larger blast pattern. There is always some resistance to change, so it is important to have the operator's full cooperation when using the square shooter. And it is beneficial that the blast equipment be well maintained and in good working order. Normally, moisture is present in compressed air. It is important to install a good moisture separator to ensure dry air. This will aid in providing a good, steady flow of abrasive. There may be some instances when interrupted abrasive flow will occur. Do not be alarmed if there is abrupt nozzle movement, as this is easily corrected. It is usually caused by not opening the abrasive sufficiently, moisture from compressed air, inadequate air volume supply, inadequate air pressure, improper blast hose fit-up, improper use of the square shooter, or air leaks going to or at the blast machine. Be sure to repair all leaks. The square shooter is easy to operate, and it can make you money by increasing your performance productivity. Most users are finding that it pays for itself in just a short time. So if you're interested in increasing profits by saving on labor and abrasive costs, then you need the square shooter blast nozzle. MMLJ Incorporated of Houston, Texas, who designed and developed the square shooter, is a leader in developing new technology for the sandblast industry. The company has a long track record with more than 50 years of designing and producing high-quality, dependable products. For more information about the square shooter, contact your nearest blast equipment dealer or call MMLJ at their toll-free number, 1-800-727-5707. Let the square shooter blast nozzle make money for you.